Hello students, today we're going to be writing equations from graphs. Please don't forget to take notes as you go and complete the survey that follows the video. Keep in mind, in every equation where we have slope-intercept form, we always have to first find our slope, and in the slope is always our rise over run, and that's always representative of the m value, and we always have to find our b value, which is our y-intercept. So if you don't have this in your notes from before, please make sure you're getting that now. So what we're going to do is change the numbers m and b into numbers that represent our graph, and y and x stay as y and x. So here's the steps that we're going to take. First, you're going to identify 2 points on the line. Keep in mind that this might be at the very edge of our graphs. Also, make sure you're identifying points that are exactly on the edge of one of the boxes in our coordinate plane. It's called a lattice point, and not something that might be a little bit off to the left to right or above or below the point. Then you're going to identify the rise over run between those 2 points. So you'll count from point to point, try to read it like it's a book, go from left to right, and identify how far up or down you would go, and how far left or right you would go. Then you're going to identify your y-intercept. Keep in mind that this is where the line is crossing the y-axis, not the x-axis, and that represents our b. So let's look at our very first example here. So what we want to do first is identify 2 points on the line. Typically, we use the y-intercept to represent one of them. Then from there, we're going to identify any other point. So there's a couple points that we could use. I'm going to choose this one right here. As you can see, it's right at the corner of the boxes of a coordinate. It's called a lattice point, and it's on our line. So the first thing we're going to do is identify our slope. So what we want to do is find our rise over run. And like I said, always try to work from left to right. So go from this bottom left point towards the top right one. So I'm going to first count how far I'm rising. So I'm rising up 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going upwards 4, so that is essentially like a positive 4. So when I create my equation, my top number is going to be 4. Let me pick a better pen. There we go. How about that? Good. That's a good color. Okay, now from there, we're going to then find out what our run is. So that's our movement left to right. So I'm going to count over 1 and 2. Since I went to the right, that's a positive 2. So on the bottom number, I'm going to write 2. If we can simplify that fraction, go ahead and do so. So 4 over 2 simplifies down to 2. You can keep it as 2 over 1, but in terms of an equation, you can just write 2. The next thing we're going to do is identify our y-intercept. So in this problem, our y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So once again, we're going to look at where it's crossed here, and that's identified as our b. So in this problem, our b value is 2. Now that I have my m and my b values, I'm now going to write it in slope-intercept form with y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to rewrite it as y equals, my m value is 2, so I have 2 times x, and then my b value is also coincidentally 2. So my equation of the line that I have here on the right is y equals 2x plus 2. Let's do another example. So once again, I'm first going to identify my y-intercept and another point. So my y-intercept is here. This is where it crosses the y-axis. And now I'm going to find any other point. So I could actually do the one that's right here, or I could do one that's all the way down here. Once again, it does not matter. So again, I'm going to work from left to right. So I'm first going to find my rise. In this problem, I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4. Since I'm headed downwards, I know that my top number or my change is going to be a negative 4. So when I create my slope, the top number is negative 4, once again because I'm headed downwards. Now I'm going to find my run. So I'm running to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, since I'm going to the right 4, that's a positive 4. Try to kind of keep in mind, as our movement up or down, left or right, follow where the x-axis and the y-axis are. The y values go negative down and positive up. The x values go negative left and positive right. Anyways, so in this problem, our change in the y is a positive 4. So this can now simplify down to a negative 1. Now that I have my slope, I need to identify my y-intercept, or my b. And in this problem here, it crosses the y-axis at where y is equal to 4. So the y-axis is equal to 4, or the y-intercept is equal to 4. So now I can write my equation. Y equals negative 1x, which can also be written as just negative x, and then followed by our y-intercept of plus 4. As always, we have our special cases. Keep in mind here that we do not have a y-intercept, but we do have a place where it's crossing the x-axis. Remember, this is our special case. Since it's touching only the x-axis, it's an x equals a number. And since it's heading x equals -3, our value is x is equal to -3. If it was a horizontal line left and right through a y value, then instead it would be y equals a number. So these are very special cases for you to remember. As always, if you have a question, either bring them to class tomorrow or write them down in the survey. Make sure you complete the survey that follows the video. See you tomorrow.